Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to Command Power, the show in which we discuss all things Magic the Gathering with a focus on Commander. And today we have another episode in our Spoiler Spotlight series in which I talk about, well, spoilers and tell you what my thoughts are on them. But before that, just a quick reminder to click subscribe if you enjoy my videos. We're well on our way to 1 million subscribers and your support means everything to me. And today we're going to be talking about Iraxxa, Empress of Mars. For 2 colorless and 2 red, it's a legendary creature, alien warrior, 5/4 with Trample, Battle Cry, and Paradox. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, create a 2/2 red alien warrior creature token. So this is a really interesting card because it does something very strong that we've already seen on another card that has proven to be very, very powerful. And that is Faldorn Dread Wolf Herald. That is a much stronger commander than everyone initially thought because it just provides you such an amount of tokens with its ability for doing basically just what your deck wants to be doing. And while Iraxxa is a little bit more expensive, it comes with a better body and it is going to give you a good way to finish the game as well as having all those tokens by providing them with a Battle Cry ability, which of course is going to pump them all when Iraxxa attacks. So having redundancy in commander decks is never bad, and this is obviously an auto include in Faldorn, but let's examine what the differences are exactly. Iraxxa is not going to trigger when you are playing a land, which Faldorn does, so that is a small downside to her. She also costs 1 mana more, as we've initially mentioned, and she doesn't have the ability to discard a card and exile the top card of your library. So she isn't kind of self-fueling like Faldorn is, but she does provide something that Faldorn doesn't provide, and that is a wider ability and the ability to finish off games. So as we've mentioned, the Battle Cry ability is great because you're going to be making so many tokens that being able to just pump them all when you attack with Iraxxa is very relevant because it's going to make all of those 2/2s into 3/2s, which is a pretty big difference. Not only that, but Iraxxa's ability is also going to trigger whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand. So even though you're not getting those land triggers, it is useful in a more wide array of situations. Obviously, if you're playing it in Faldorn, you just want it for the exile part, but it can also be played in other decks that cast stuff from other places as well as exile, such as playing stuff from the graveyard. So with all of those things clear and the fact that this is obviously very good in Faldorn, we can also see that this card goes infinite with a bunch of other things as well. So for example, if you have this card in a deck with a bunch of zombies in them and you have Gravecrawler in play, then you can generate a huge army very quickly as long as you have a sack outlet for Gravecrawler, because you're going to get token after token after token as you keep casting your Gravecrawler from your graveyard. It could also work in certain mono red decks. Perhaps even with Iraxxa herself at the helm, you'd have to go pretty deep on cards that you cast from graveyard or from exile, but there are quite a lot of those effects in red at the moment. Basically, any card with flashback would work pretty well. Cards with retrace are also really powerful, and there's just a lot of different ways to kind of abuse this effect. So with all those things said, while this looks like a pretty forgettable card and a straightforward one at that, it is actually a lot stronger than it initially seems, and I expect it to definitely see some play in certain decks. You do again need a very specific kind of build around for this to be good, but in the decks where you want it, it's going to be one of the best cards in those decks. So there you have it. Those have been my thoughts on this new spoiler. What do you think about this card? Please let me know in the comment section below. I read all comments and respond to all of them too. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like or subscribe. It really helps the channel. And until next time, take care. Woo!